Welcome back to Priviso Live, your South African source for information security, risk and ICT legislation. I'm Lynn, and joining me as always are my fellow hosts, Stephen.
Good to be here.
And John.
Always a pleasure.
This is episode 38, and we've got a packed session. As usual, we're starting with the news, 3 headlines that caught our attention in the world of information security and ICT legislation. Then we're diving into something that's fascinated and unsettled security professionals for decades, the onion router and the dark web. Let's start with this one. MITRE has just released a roadmap for migrating to post-quantum cryptography.
And not a moment too soon. We've talked about quantum threats in episode 15. Quantum computers could crack RSA and ECC like a toothpick. MITRE's roadmap is significant because it gives agencies and companies a structured way to begin preparing for that reality.
And it's not just about replacing algorithms. It's about inventorying what cryptographic assets you even have, which is a challenge on its own.
I agree with that.
Legacy systems, undocumented certs, it's all a nightmare.
They even outlined key phases: asset discovery, algorithm selection, and gradual implementation. For South African enterprises, especially in banking and government, now's the time to start asking, are we crypto agile? Next up. CETA is looking for a new executive head as the agency faces mounting operational woes.
That's the state IT agency for those outside SA. CETA's struggles aren't new. Procurement issues, service delivery delays, and underwhelming digital transformation.
They need someone who understands both ICT governance and public sector realities. And maybe someone who's willing to fight to streamline archaic policies.
Final news item. This one's wild. The CIA allegedly ran a Star Wars fan site in the early 2000s to influence foreign youth.
404 Media broke this story, and it's bizarre but not surprising. It's a perfect example of information operations via soft influence. The content was harmless, but the intent wasn't.
And it shows how thin the line is between public diplomacy and covert manipulation. Add AI-driven persona generation and deepfakes, and suddenly you've got Star Wars fan fiction steering geopolitical sentiment.
It raises some uncomfortable questions about information integrity online, especially as we've discussed in past episodes about browser security and trust. Who controls the platform matters. Now let's peel back the onion, literally. Today we're talking about Tor, the onion router. John, you're up.
Tor started as a US naval research project in the 1990s. It was built to allow anonymous internet communication, particularly useful for intelligence and journalism in hostile environments.
It works by bouncing your internet traffic through multiple encrypted nodes. Each one only knows the previous and next step, never the whole path. That's what gives it its onion structure.
And it's not just about hiding your IP, it's about protecting the root itself. The dark web, by the way, is just the part of the internet that requires Tor to access. It's not indexed by Google or Bing.
People often equate the dark web with crime, and yeah, there are marketplaces and forums for illegal stuff, but it's also a refuge for whistleblowers, activists, and journalists, especially in repressive regimes.
Right. It's like encryption. The same tool can secure your medical records or hide malware command and control traffic. Tor is neutral tech. What matters is how it's used.
But it's not without flaws. Exit nodes can be monitored. Some onion services can be fake or honeypots, and speed is always an issue.
Tor's funding and administration are complex too. It still gets some support from the US government, but it's managed by the nonprofit Tor project. They work to make it accessible and open, but that also means it can be exploited.
We've talked about browser security in our last episode, and Tor browser is one of the few that really enables anonymity and privacy.
Let's discuss the known criminal activity that has been carried out on Tor, and we'll start with the big one, Silk Road. As we discussed in episode 20, Ross Ulbricht, who called himself Dread Pirate Roberts, ran an online black market for drugs, fake IDs, and hacking tools, all hosted on Tor.
And it wasn't just small time. Silk Road handled over $200 million in transactions, mostly in Bitcoin. Ross thought he was untouchable, but the FBI tracked him down by tracing a misconfigured server and linking early forum posts to his real identity.
He was arrested in a library with his laptop open so agents could get to his unencrypted data. Ulbricht was sentenced to 2 life terms plus 40 years. No parole.
But Trump pardoned him, remember?
But that wasn't the end. When Silk Road was shut down, a copycat site emerged, Silk Road 2.0, run by Blake Benthall, aka DEFCON.
He made the same mistake, using real-world infrastructure like personal email accounts to manage site details. The FBI infiltrated the site, posed as vendors, and traced him back to his San Francisco apartment.
He was arrested in 2014. The details of his sentencing are sealed, but he reportedly cooperated heavily.
Then we had Alphabay, which was 10 times bigger. Alexandra Kaisis, its founder, was living large in Thailand.
He used a Hotmail address in the welcome email, and that gave him away. Despite hosting everything on Tor, investigators linked Bitcoin wallets and seized servers.
He was arrested in 2017 but died in custody before trial. Alphabay was taken down in a global sting.
Tor has also been used for far darker purposes. In 2016, Benjamin Faulkner and Patrick Fault ran a child abuse site called the Gift Box Exchange.
The FBI infiltrated the site by posing as contributors and eventually identified the operators through operational mistakes, like reusing usernames and leaking metadata.
Faulkner got 35 years in prison. The case was part of a broader international operation against child exploitation on the dark web.
And even in crypto crime, like Joel Ortiz, he used Tor to hide his SIM swapping attacks. But again, what tripped him up wasn't the tech. It was the lifestyle leaks and cooperation from telecoms.
Ortiz stole over $7.5 million in crypto and was sentenced to 10 years. First of his kind to be convicted for SIM swapping.
The big takeaway: Tor provides anonymity, not immunity. If you slip up, even once, metadata, operational security, or good old-fashioned detective work will catch you.
Exactly. Use Tor for privacy, but never assume it makes you invisible. Law enforcement is learning fast. That's it for episode 38 of Priviso Live. Thank you for tuning in. If you missed our breakdown of quantum cryptography in episode 15 or the deep dive into browser security in episode 37, do make sure to check those out.
Before we close off, we just want to remind South African companies that we all need to have our Section 32 submissions in by the 30th of June. This covers the period 1st April 2024 to 31st March 2025. Get it done at the Information Regulator e-Services portal.
If you want to hear more of the same, don't forget to subscribe or like our channel to receive future episodes. You can find us on all primary podcast channels, including Apple, Samsung, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. As always, this is sponsored by Priviso Consulting, your partner when trust matters.
And remember, if you need security, risk or ICT legislation assistance, contact Priviso directly at admin@priviso.co.za.
Until next time, stay safe.